Senator John McCain said it himself, quote, "In a time of war, the commander-in-chief doesn't get a learning curve."
Ew.
Yet in our #1 story in the countdown, the senator received an incomplete on his essay about the war from a newspaper that had endorsed him for the Republican nomination. The New York Times rejected McCain's op-ed, his submission therein on Iraq, because it lacks certain details, such as, you know, a definition of victory in Iraq, even though the thing was about victory in Iraq. Tonight, another news organization did him a huge favor. In his interview with CBS, McCain made an incredible gaffe. He claimed the awakening of the Sunni Iraqis, the people in Anbar, was the result of the surge, even though the Sunnis started cooperating nearly half a year before the surge began. And CBS was kind enough to edit McCain's mistake out of the interview that appeared on what is referred to, in apparent irony, as the CBS Evening News with Katie Couric. All this serving as prologue to my special guest tonight, Richard Lewis, whose memoir, The Other Great Depression, will come out in audiobook with new writings next month. Wow. Also, a 7th season of the Emmy-nominated Curb Your Enthusiasm
congratulations, Larry.
is in the works. And Richard's Endless Misery Loves Company tour lands in Sacramento, Atlantic City, and Red Wing, Minnesota over the next 3 years.
Well, I dated a woman there once, so every year I go back. Now listen.
Some sort of settlement or what?
Huh?
Why do you go back? Is it a settlement deal? Or
it's not. It's a casino. Now listen.
Yeah, well, all right.
First of all, it's great to see you.
Great to see you.
I love the show, and listen. For those who are watching to blog me and you hate me, fine. I'm 61. I could care less. People either love me or hate me. I'm not in it for the love. I'm in it because I can't take it anymore. I cannot. Listen, Keith. I'm having a nervous breakdown.
Again?
Yes.
Oh.
Here's the deal. I have this feeling. I tell this on stage and I perform year-round.
Constantly.
I say, look. Let's be reasonable. What McCain did today, what he said, that despicable comment to the guy he's running against.
Oh, you'd rather win the election than lose the war?
Come on,
yeah.
That's like that speaks volumes of his character. And I know his character, the POW. I mean, you can't be much greater for a country than that and our servicemen. But come on, it's 2008?
2008, yes.
Come on, and look, I was born a Jew. But I'm an observant Jew. I go, hey, look, there's a Jew. I'm not that deeply religious, but I love Jews. I love all religion. There's 5 gods. Is the Scientology a religion? And then
so they have a metal god, a robot god.
Whatever it is. And then there's Allah. There's everybody.
Right.
Until these on Larry King, or you. I'll let you get the get. You know, Jesus, you did.
Tonight, God joins us.
But I still let people have a belief system.
Okay.
So, but what was my point? Please help me on this.
Oh, about McCain and calling Obama rather win the election.
No, it was something else.
I want
people to I believe, if you have a belief system, believe in it. Believe in your God. Right. If you're an atheist, people always tell me, my atheist friends, you know, that about 18 billion people died because of religious wars.
Okay.
And if you're an atheist, there was like 6 slap fights in gym class. So they always get me on that.
A dodgeball tournament.
Yeah, but the point is this. I know who I respect. I have a lot of friends who would never have an abortion, but vote Democrat because they say, hey, look at these last 8 years. All your Bush, I wish they were impeached, all these cats. That pissed me off, okay? And number 2, the thing is, they say Katrina and all this crap that's been going down and we went to Iraq. Come on. I mean, what's wrong with being a reasonable person? I think that Obama, who I'm voting for, is reasonable. If you go back and check all the stuff, all right, he made that little Israeli. I think Israel should be a friend.
There's a great truth in that. Israel is Israel's greatest friend.
Hey, listen, if you can't be a friend to yourself, Israel has very high self-esteem. That's why he meant that. But that's not a gift. That's his worst gaffe.
Right,
but he's not going to be saying that ugly stuff that McCain said. So I want a reasonable guy. And number 1, you know, after 8 years, and I don't knock President Bush. I had mentioned this. We're both recovering coke addicts and alcoholics, and I root for the guy. But that's it, okay? But the point is, it would be nice to have a guy who is intelligent. Just because he's intelligent doesn't mean he can't be a guy to have a beer with. He can have a beer with and watch a Super Bowl and still be smart.
He can figure out how to pour it for you.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly. But to have someone, I think 90%, that's my point, 90% of this country, other than the fringe lunatics, left and right, are reasonable. And it's time after 8 years of this. You ever see the signer, you know, for the hearing impaired when Bush was on?
Right.
They pulled back on a C-SPAN, and the woman did this, and she was a lovely woman. She went like this. She actually shot him like that movie.
Oh, no.
No, well, I was, and the Straight Talk Express, it's a lot of, come on, Senator. Straight Talk this. It is like the Peyote Express. It is, he has flip-flop. It's a joke. This whole thing is a joke on that side. There's lie after lie.
Yeah.
And why, and this whole surge thing. I mean, how can you not put the surge, so, all right, the last 4 months, fine, but it's 7 years. Bin Laden's still alive. He's 6'7". He's the tallest Islamic guy. He's, with the turban, he's 7'1". And even if we got him, there's probably a Bin Laden modeling school now. You know, walk with books on your head.
We should have been able to see him from space, is what we're saying.
If you can catch a senator in a tryst in a high-rise with Google Earth search, you can catch this guy watching HBO on demand in a cave. And we should have gone to Pakistan and Afghanistan. You know, I email a lot of soldiers. I love these guys. And I send them stuff, and you know, and I say, please come home safe and sound. Some of these guys I know are from Afghanistan, and you know, and I don't talk politics, because you know what it is? It's like these guys. It's like Super Bowl Sunday.
Right, you're out there.
They're the heroes.
Yes.
If they're 0-13, but they're playing like the Super Bowl Giants, they're going to go out there and play their hearts out. So if Bush or anyone else says, go to the wrong country, yeah, they do it. It wasn't their fault.
Exactly.
It wasn't their fault. And if we make that mistake again, I don't know what I'm going to do. Because after 8 years of this, how it happened, you know what really bugged me? This spoke volumes. When President Bush, look, if it was a sexual problem, whatever it was, I don't know. I don't know. But when he did that, I was unhappy. I worked my butt off for the DNC and for the Clintons for 10, 12 years, and for all other senators. Whenever I would go here, show up here, I would do it. I'm a Democrat because I don't like 50 million people without health insurance. I feel the poor are forgotten. The middle class has been screwed. And I'm sick of 100,000 rich white people, mainly, running this country. It's our country. And if you believe in Jesus, if he's a prince of peace, fine. But he wore a robe and sandals, not an American flag. That's what. Unless he went to a hip shop on Melrose. You know what I mean? I hate this fear stuff, and they're fear mongering again.
Oh,
and it's
I
and it's just, well, of course you know this, and it's not fair, and it's not fair. And you can believe in a God, and you can still believe in separation of church and
state.
Thank you. And if we don't do that, we're in deep trouble. And I pray to God that this country, the 90%, and I'm talking to you independents and libertarians and atheists and Republicans, think about it. Vote for politics. Don't vote for religion, or we're pretty much in the same boat as these other countries.
Oh, yes, exactly. The people we're supposed to be stopping.
That's right.
Now I have to stop you. Richard Lewis, Curb Your Enthusiasm starts its 7th great year in a moment, The Great Depression. It's a book. It's an audio book. You can get an implant.
Yeah.
There's a Great Depression toothpaste coming up, and he'll be appearing.
No, the book, Jack Kerouac, bless his soul, if he would have heard me read this book, he would have called me. You need help? That's how dark this is.
And met you in Red Wing, Minnesota at the time.
It's a great casino.
Right. That's
Thank you.
Thank you, friend.
I know. I don't want the verdict to get upset with me.
Well, they already
he's
are.
Already suing me.
Look at it. It's already 10 seconds late. Thanks, Countdown, for this, the 1,910th day since the declaration of mission accomplished.
Just be reasonable. It's our country. And I would take the streets, but I have a bad back.
Gillis, I'm Keith Olbermann. Good night and good luck.